A warm good morning, fellow Singaporeans and everyone watching on Facebook Live, and welcome to the launch of eRevival Square. eRevival Square is an initiative to raise the community awareness to address the growing e-waste problem in Singapore. More than 60,000 tons of waste in electronic waste are used in Singapore every year. The eRevival Square is a pilot project by SG Tech and is the first of many initiatives that we will be embarking on sustainability. My name is Ivan, a counselor with SG Tech, and it's my honor today to be your MC for this event. Now, SG Tech is the premier trade association representing tech companies in Singapore. We represent companies all the way from your startups to your SMEs to even your MNC. We believe that together we can tackle the e-waste problem that is not just a growing problem in Singapore, but around the world through collective effort. Today, we are grateful for the support of the National Environment Agency and our partner Sustainable Living Labs together with Facebook for putting together this event for us to learn more about e-waste and to launch the eRevival Square. Together with the government-led efforts such as the start of the extended producer responsibility scheme at the beginning of July, we hope that eRevival Square, this platform, can contribute towards making 2021 the turning point for fellow Singaporeans and ourselves in making e-waste a problem that we can solve. To give you an overview of today's program, we are very delighted and honored to have a guest of honor, Dr. Amy Khor, the Senior Minister of State, Ministry for Sustainability and Environment, joining us, together with representatives from SG Tech, Facebook, and Sustainable Living Labs. Later on, Dr. Amy Khor will also lead us in a meaningful activity for all of us to pledge our action towards contributing to solving the e-waste problem. As well, we have speakers, other than the speakers joining us today, we have some exciting behind-the-scenes tour videos from Alba and Sustainable Living Lab talking about the fourth R, which is repair. So let's get this morning started. Without further ado, I would like to have Mr. Wong Wai Ming, Chairman of SG Tech, to give us the welcome address. Mr. Wong Wai Ming, please.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you. Dr. Amy Khor, Senior Minister of State, Ministry for Sustainability and Environment, and Ministry for Transport. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, thank you for joining us on this beautiful sunny Sunday morning. Researchers have found that the rate of sea level rising is greater now than any time in the past 2,700 years. Flooding is expected to become more common and more destructive for the world's coastal city. But yet, not all coastal cities are equal. One of the hotspots for sea level rise is Singapore. When ice cap melts, a place such as Singapore that sits almost on the equator itself will get about 30% more water than places further away from the equator itself. So as Minister for Sustainability and Environment, Grace Fu said at an event earlier this month, climate change is defining the crisis of our generation. Now, the tech sector has a very important role to play. We must come together to take action, to contribute to realize the Singapore Green Plan, and we have solutions that can help. For a wicked problem such as this, the collective action is very crucial. As the leading association for tech companies, SG Tech will do and can do more. Earlier this year, SG Tech formed a sustainability committee that cuts across the tech verticals to focus our energies to strategize and guide our initiatives to rally the tech business community to take actions that will make a difference. As a start, the SG Tech Sustainability Committee will focus on e-waste management, which is the key for the launch of the event today. And a study by Google revealed that Singapore leads Asia in the number of connected devices, and an average of 3.3 devices per person. With around 60,000 tons generated each year, e-waste is a big problem and contributed by all of us, our appliances at home, devices, gadgets that we change whenever there's a new model. But in return, it affects everyone. And Singapore is one of the main culprits in South Asia, generating one of the most e-waste. So as an industry, and also as individuals, we must play an active role to help solve this together jointly with the government. Collectively as an industry, we can create initiatives to raise awareness, educate, and encourage positive habits and practices in the purchase, the use, and disposal of electronic products among companies and members of public side by side with the whole government. Given the urgency, SGTech is launching eRevival Square to do just that. Now, eRevival Square enables our member companies to engage the public to learn how to manage e-waste successfully at home and at work. And we are grateful to have the support of NEA, National Environment Agency, as a start of this journey, and the help of our members, Facebook, and Sustainable Living Lab to kickstart this whole program. In a short while, my fellow SGTech members, Kevin and Boonping, will elaborate on SGTech's longer sustainability goals for the industry, for the tech industry in Singapore. At a strategic level, SGTech wants to help lead the tech industry to work in tandem with the public sector effort to green Singapore. Broadly speaking, we will be guided by the Singapore Green Plan. In closing, I want to encourage everyone to make an individual or corporate pledge before we end our time today. The e-waste pledge helps all of us to reflect and to do our part to reduce e-waste. No matter how big or how small, every little effort makes a big difference. While e-waste is only one part of the climate change equation, with the number of appliances and devices in our hands, it is accessible to everyone and an important step we all can take. Through our actions, we have the power to prevent Singapore from sinking and disappearing under the sea. Thank you. Ivan, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Wong Wai Ming, Chairman of SGTech. And indeed, all of us have the power to prevent this island nation from sinking and disappearing. Now, we are very delighted to have Dr. Amy Khor, Senior Minister of State, Ministry for Sustainability and Environment, to give us the opening address. Dr. Amy Khor, please.
Thank you. Mr. Wong Wai Ming, Chairman SGTech, Mr. Viripan Swaminathan, Founder and Director of Sustainable Living Lab, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, a very good morning to one and all. It is indeed my pleasure to join you today for the launch of SGTech and Sustainable Living Lab's new initiative, eRevival Square. I want to assure Mr. Wong when he said that he was glad NEA has started this journey with SGTech. Let me assure you that we will continue to support you and walk with you through this journey. I understand that this initiative seeks to raise awareness on the need for sustainable management of our electrical and electronic waste, or e-waste in short. This initiative is timely as it will help to foster a culture of reduce, reuse, and recycle among Singaporeans to address the growing amount of e-waste here. As Mr. Wong has said, Singapore generates about 60 million kilograms or 60,000 tons of e-waste each year. And in fact, this is set to grow. This 60 million kilograms of e-waste is equivalent to each of us throwing away 70 handphones every year. The use of electronic products has increased in the light of the COVID-19 pandemic, where more people are working from home as a default, and students are also switching to virtual platforms for home-based learning. With more people staying at home, there is also an increase in demand for gaming and home entertainment equipment, resulting in the purchase of products like ICT equipment and TVs. At the same time, businesses are also adopting greater digitalization to improve communication and productivity. These practices will eventually lead to more e-waste being generated as electronic products reach their end of life. At our current rate of waste generation, the Semakau landfill, our only landfill, is expected to be filled up by 2035. Not very long or not very far away. Under the Singapore Green Plan 2030, launched earlier this year, we have set a target to reduce the amount of waste sent to the landfill by 20% by 2026. Reducing our waste will not only help to extend the lifespan of Semakau landfill, it will also help us to reduce our carbon footprint from the production, transportation, and incineration processes. Earlier this month, the National Environment Agency launched the Extended Producer Responsibility Scheme for E-Waste Management, or EPR scheme for short. Under the EPR scheme, producers of regulated electrical and electronic equipment are responsible for ensuring the proper disposal and treatment of products that they supply to the Singapore market at their end of life. NEA has appointed Alba E-Waste Smart Recycling as the Producer Responsibility Scheme Operator, or PRS operator, to collect regulated consumer e-waste across Singapore for proper treatment and recycling on behalf of the producers. With this new national e-waste management system, consumers like you and I can expect various convenient e-waste collection avenues. Alba's e-waste recycling bins can be found at shopping malls, at community clubs, large electronic retail outlets, as well as at supermarkets. Alba will also conduct scheduled e-waste collection drives at housing estates for the convenience of residents. All e-waste collected will be sent to NEA licensed e-waste recyclers for proper treatment. Indeed, we have heard some feedback. People are worried that, if the e-waste collection bins are not convenient, especially for the older citizens, then it may not encourage recycling. But rest assured, Alba will also do collection at housing estates, so that will make it more convenient for those who may have mobility issues, for instance. Retailers supplying regulated consumer products also play an important role under the EPR scheme. They have set up in-store collection services for regulated consumer products. So retailers that deliver new consumer products like your refrigerators and TVs will also offer their customers free take-back services, what we call one-for-one take-back services, for discarded products of the same type. I'm glad to note that the response to the scheme has been very encouraging so far. Alba has collected about 220 tons of e-waste since the commencement of the EPR scheme in July. This is equivalent to the average weight of about 1,900 refrigerators. It is important for us to recycle our e-waste so that useful materials such as copper wires, plastic, and metal, and in fact precious metal too, may be extracted and repurposed for various uses. Since 2020, SG Tech has been a key advocate in representing producers and sharing constructive feedback with NEA. The feedback has been useful in helping us to develop and refine the PRS to ensure the smooth implementation of the EPR scheme. SGA Tech has also established a sustainability committee, as you have heard, within the association to identify opportunities to collaborate with stakeholders along the e-waste value chain. NEA will continue to work closely with SG Tech to reach out to a wider segment of consumers and businesses on sustainable e-waste management. The eRevival Square initiative is one such collaboration between SG Tech's Sustainability Committee and Social Enterprise Sustainable Living Lab to raise awareness of e-waste and the broader issue of sustainability. Many of us are aware of the three R's, namely the reduce, reuse, and recycle. The eRevival Square complements the three R's and aims to cultivate a repair culture in Singapore to promote the lifespan of electronic and electrical products and thereby minimizing waste. I'm heartened to know that participants of this initiative will be able to learn basic skills to properly dismantle and repair their old or faulty appliances while receiving some rewards in the process. I would like to commend SG Tech and Sustainable Living Lab for organizing this very timely initiative, which coincides with NEA's implementation of the e-waste EPR scheme. I hope that more stakeholders will be inspired by your efforts and will come forward to support such meaningful initiatives. Indeed, all of us can play a role in embracing a repair culture to reduce our e-waste. We can also carefully consider the need to purchase new products or choose to buy second-hand products instead. For our unused and unwanted devices, which are still in working order, we can choose to donate them to those in need. Together, we can make Singapore a zero-waste nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Amy Khor. It's collectively all our responsibility to ensure that we don't fill up our landfill by 2035, and we can further reduce our waste so that we have a Singapore for future generation of Singaporeans. Now, I would like to I would now like to invite Mr. Vira from Sustainable Living Lab, he's the director there, to talk to you guys about the impact of eRevival Square and the impact on e-waste. Mr. Vira, please.
Thank you, Dr. Amy Khor, Mr. Wong Wai Ming, fellow EduTech members, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this morning. I would like to share with you about the eRevival Square initiative. Set of slides, which is just going on. Right? So as I say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And one of the things we have learned in our social innovation work is that the most effective way to address complex sustainability challenges is by bringing together various stakeholders and expanding the common possible solution space. Now, since late 2014, we've been trying to tackle the buy and throw away culture in Singapore by working together with the community, grassroots organizations, policymakers, education institutions, and companies, and many, many other partners. Through this initiative, which we call Repair Kopitiam for short, or RK, we encourage people to attempt repair before discarding their items. Now, today, against the backdrop of the Singapore Green Plan 2030 and the Extended Producer Responsibility Scheme, or EPR scheme, we are proud to work together with SG Tech, Facebook, our Tampines Hub, Alba, and many other industry and community partners to expand the Repair Kopitiam initiative into the area of e-waste. So what is the eRevival Square meant to do? So firstly, it's positioned as a 6-month pilot in the first instance, and we aim to build and reinforce a repair culture among Singaporeans, as Dr. Amy Khor shared. We also wish to raise awareness about the national movement towards a more sustainable future and celebrate the united front of key stakeholders who are trying to tackle the e-waste issue in Singapore. Last but not least, we want to cultivate a habit of consciousness towards the way we consume and use our electronics. And of course, this can extend to all other items as well. So we intend to meet these aims by educating the public on the issue of e-waste through social media contests, a YouTube video series on e-waste repair, and when the situation eventually allows for it, even a physical exhibition to take home the message on reducing e-waste. We'll also be taking Repair Kopitiam online by offering virtual repair coaching, creating new stations for repairing ICT equipment, and even dismantling stations to separate and take apart e-waste. Which is always a deeply engaging, rewarding activity for anyone with curiosity, a screwdriver, and time on their hands. Finally, we're working with partners to create incentives for those who engage in e-waste reducing actions and activities. We hope to use the lessons learned from the 6-month pilot of the eRevival Square to grow and scale a national Singapore-wide movement to tackle e-waste and other sustainability challenges. Now, ultimately, the eRevival Square tackles the issue of e-waste by cultivating the habit of repair with the community and encouraging and supporting circularity in the resources that we consume. Now, it's my belief that the eRevival Square model or tri-sectoral collaboration will serve as a powerful blueprint to practically address many critical sustainability issues in our society today. I would like to invite all of you to participate in the various elements of eRevival Square initiative. With that, thank you so much for your time and for joining us on this Sunday morning. Back to you, Ivan.
Thank you so much, Vira. And I cannot personally wait to join your Repair Kopitiam online so that I have lots of gadgets around my house, and I definitely think instead of a landfill, we should repair it. So cannot wait to see that happening soon. And for everybody else, we'll talk to you guys about how to join those events shortly. Now, let's change our focus, and we want to invite Mr. Gavin Chua and Mr. Lim Boon Ping, the Sustainability Committee co-chair for SG Tech, to talk to guys about how companies can play a part in this initiative of SG Tech. Gavin and Boon Ping, please.
Facebook is proud to support this initiative and partner with industry leaders to promote sustainability awareness. And you see many of them today. This is in line with our commitment to reach net zero emissions across our own value chain in 2030 through efficient design, operations, and by working with our suppliers to reduce emissions. We look forward to seeing how this initiative can help reduce e-waste in Singapore. When we think of e-waste management, it's useful to consider our actions in terms of eRevival. That is, how do we extend the life of a consumer device before throwing it away? Which leads to another question I often ask my daughters as well. How do we be a responsible user of electronic devices? eRevival Square will be able to answer these questions and more. Next, I'll let Boon Pin from HP and co-chair with me on SG Tech's Sustainability Committee talk about the goals we want to achieve. Boon Pin?
Hi, thanks, Kevin. Good morning, everyone, again. So let's ask ourselves first, right, what is sustainability? There are many ways to define sustainability, and this particular definition resonates with me very well. Sustainability means meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. In addition to natural resources, we also need social and economic resources. Sustainability is not just environmentalism. Embedded in most definitions of sustainability, we also find concerns for social equity and economic development. The SG Tech Sustainability Committee looks to inspire and galvanize industry members to embrace and elevate sustainability as a business imperative. And we want to do that by focusing on 3 pillars. The first pillar, partner with government by deepening our relationship with the Ministry of Sustainability and Environment and National Environment Agency to contribute to Singapore Green Plan 2030. The recently implemented e-waste management scheme is a start. Second pillar, drive awareness of sustainability. Through our awareness programs, we want to help companies to adopt sustainable practices as a means of competitiveness. The last pillar, collaboration. To create greater impact, collaboration with like-minded industry members will help us drive towards a sustainable future for Singapore. I want to take this opportunity to introduce the executive committee members who bring their thought leadership and vast experience in sustainability from their academic and business background. Mr. Andy Sim from Dell, advisor to our committee, Ms. Phyllis Chua from Dell, Mr. Chia Boon Chong from Singtel, Dr. Aidan Wong from Singapore Management University, Ms. Casey Fong from StarHub, Mr. Virapan from Sustainable Living Lab. Lastly, I want to invite everyone with us today to join us in our sustainability journey by committing to meaningful actions to create a sustainable future. With that, let me hand this back to Ivan to tell us more. Back to you, Ivan.
Thank you so much, Gavin, and thank you so much, Boon Ping, for sharing with us the drive and all the passion the Sustainability Committee within SG Tech has. eRevival Square is about enabling everyone to take action that will translate into results. Companies and individuals alike can play a part. Let's first see what companies can do to be part of the eRevival Square initiative. Since the appeal for corporate pledges started in the middle of July just this year, we have more than 20 companies pledging and making a difference. Thank you to all these front runners for leading the way. Now, why a company pledge? Company and organization have a big effect to employees, customers, and suppliers. The action can collectively be magnified tremendously when they take an initiative. We want to now invite companies to join us to take action to minimize e-waste. As e-waste is a relatively new topic for us, I think we can also benefit from all these companies coming together and learning and sharing best practices, ideas, and innovation with each other. Action can be simple, but yet meaningful. Short of ideas, we have more than enough suggestions for you to get started just by visiting our pledge form. So, our goal is 100 pledges by the year end, but I believe we can definitely hit that way before that. Visit sgtech.org.sg eRevival Square for you to sign up as a company pledge and find out initiative and ways you can be part of this initiative. Now, for the rest of us, turning our view now to individuals, we can also play a part. This is not just something for the companies. We ourselves have to take ownership of the issues of e-waste. Today, we are once again very honored to have Dr. Amy Khor to launch this community pledge for individuals like yourself and myself. You can see Dr. Amy Khor has just come online. Dr. Amy Khor will now submit her pledge to our virtual wall. So, Dr. Amy Khor, over to you.
Thank you. Well, as an individual, I would like to pledge to recycle my e-waste through the channels established under the e-waste extended producer responsibility scheme, so as to conserve resources, reduce our carbon footprint, extend the lifespan of Semakau landfill, and build a greener Singapore for future generations.
Thank you, Dr. Amy Khor. I think this is such a great pledge, and I am sure I'll be seeing you on one of Vera's Sustainable Living Lab repair kopitiam very, very soon. So, for the rest of our audience members joining us today, you can also make your own virtual pledge. We want to invite everyone to think about the tiny little action that you can take today to reduce e-waste. We are targeting at least 8,000 pledge, but once again, we know that fellow Singaporeans will hit this in just a matter of months. So once again, visit sgtech.org.sg/eRevival Square to find out more. Thank you, Dr. Amy Khor.
Welcome.
Now, we have a couple more stuff upcoming for you. Just now in the morning today, I talked to you guys about seeing how the recycling effort worked. So we are very pleased today to have a video from our partner Alba to show you what happens to the e-waste collection bin that you're seeing across Singapore in shopping centers, in our post office, and in your neighborhood areas. So curious about what's happened next when you drop the little things into the box? Let's play this video to find out more.
Starting July 1st, 2021, Alba E-Waste and the National Environment Agency has officially rolled out a nationwide collection program for electrical or electronic waste. This is the first ever integrated collection program for e-waste in Singapore. The collection program is part of the larger umbrella of the Resource Sustainability Act, a legislation that was passed in October 2019, which mandates regulatory measures upon three key waste streams with high volume and low recycling rates. E-waste is one of it. The Act adopts an extended producer responsibility framework whereby producers are obliged to take responsibility for the environmental impacts their products can cause.
Welcome at Alba E-Waste. We are Singapore's producer responsibility scheme operator since 1st of July this year. Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm your guide for today, and I guide you through Alba's PRS logistics and sorting hub.
As part of the collection program, Alba E-Waste has set up multiple collection avenues for the public and organizations to dispose their e-waste safely and properly. This includes e-bins, doorstep collection, collection drives, retailer take-back, and bulky waste removal with town councils. Under the RSA, Alba E-Waste is responsible for collecting a range of regulated e-waste. This includes ICT equipment, large household appliances, electric mobility devices, batteries, and bulbs. The collected e-waste is brought to our hub for sorting and weighing. All these data are reported and monitored to ensure transparency and traceability.
Safety and environmental protection are our main priority here at Alba E-Waste. So we choose recyclers which are pre-qualified and handle our material safe and sound. Let's, for example, take these fridges here. Those fridges have refrigerant in them, which is a pollutant, which can be toxic, and which can be a fire risk. So we make sure all of our recyclers handle them environmentally proper.
Although some e-waste contains hazardous substances, if disposed and recycled properly, we can recover valuable raw materials from them. Many of the e-waste generated contains precious metals such as gold, silver, copper, and palladium. These materials are decreasing rapidly and will eventually run out if we do not have a solution. With Alba e-waste collection system in place, and together with the support of everyone, we can address this issue. Additionally, we will be able to reduce our waste generated and minimize leakage to nature. This mitigates our environmental impact and contributes to a bright future for generations ahead.
Now come with me to meet some of our key members who work very hard to get this system up and running. I'm here with Suzette, our key account manager. Suzette, why don't you tell our audience what you're doing here at Alba US?
Sure. I'm Suzette. So I work very closely with producers. They are one of the biggest stakeholder in the entire producers' responsibility scheme. So I work with them to address any concerns that they have, especially given that they are funding the whole scheme. We need to ensure that the funds are managed transparently. And now that this is the first time that we are launching this scheme in Singapore, we need to sign up our producers and let them know how the scheme works, ensure that they understand the processes. So that's basically what I do.
Perfect. All right, I'm here with one more colleague of ours. So this is Shaul. Shaul is our Community Engagement Officer. Shaul, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your role encompasses?
Sure. So I ensure that the deployment of the bins are fully met according to our Resource Sustainability Act, as well as engage with communities and ensure that the collection drives targets are being met as well.
And now I would like you to meet our brilliant heart, our head of operations, Philip. Philip, why don't you tell our people here what you're doing at Alba E-Waste?
So basically my role is to ensure that all the regulated products are being brought back from the various locations and programs that we have. That includes the e-bins, the retailers take back, the doorstep take back, and the collection drives that we run around Singapore.
From our official rollout in just 2 weeks, our team is overwhelmed with the amazing response by the public. We have collected 34 tons of e-waste, with large household appliances making up the majority at 30 tons, while the remaining 4 tons were collected from our e-bins that were stationed across Singapore. Once all of this e-waste has been sorted, they'll be packed and delivered to licensed recyclers for material recovery. Any recovered raw materials are channeled back into production, hence establishing the foundation for a circular economy on e-waste. Where people see trash, we see treasure. Here at Alba E-Waste, we believe that the future holds limitless potential, and we are determined to realize it together with you.
Thank you, Alba, for that insightful video. I think we have gained so much more, like when we just drop a package into one of the recycling bin. It is a full process behind it, and it's amazing work like companies like Alba making a difference in helping us reduce our e-waste in Singapore. Now, we heard about the 3 R's of recycling. 3 R's of environment protection: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Our partner, Sustainable Living Lab, the creator of the Repair Kopitiam, which I've been referencing many times in this program, have something else to say. They now have the 4th R, called repair. So let's hear from Sustainable Living Lab in this next video in how repair can help us reduce our e-waste problem.
Let's say you have a faulty appliance. What do? Do you throw it away and buy a new one, or repair it? Chances are, most people would choose to throw than repair. Now, if you care about the environment or your wallet, throwing away appliances and getting a new one is not the best option. What if there is an option that is good for both? We know about the 3 R's, but what about repair, the overlooked R? Our current consumption cycle is linear and unsustainable. To move towards a more sustainable living, adopting a circular economy is one of the ways to reduce waste. In a circular economy, resources are treated as if every part is valuable. Hence, are maximized sustainably from the start to the end of the value chain. However, refurbishing, remanufacturing, and recycling leaves more carbon footprint than our 4th R, repair. So what if we make repair a normalcy? Well, we will save a lot of resources and energy that is needed for these 3 R's.
If we have a spoiled apple, most of us would throw the entire apple away, when we could just remove the spoiled part and still salvage it. Similarly, most would throw their devices away once they experience a fault. The next scene is an example why we should always try to fix the problem. It may be easier than you think.
So here we have a computer that faces troubles booting. When I turn on the switch button, you'll see an orange light over here instead of a white light. This could indicate a fault in the hardware. So I'm going to open up the laptop, but before that, I will take out the adapter to prevent myself from getting electrically shocked. Okay, over here we see the motherboard, and you can see that the memory module is being dislodged. In order to fix that, we have to take it out, and if there's any oxidation buildup, you can always clean it with an eraser. When you put it back, make sure the white part is facing down, and as you put it back into place, the golden part should be completely tucked into the compartment, and so that it will have complete contact with it. So now I'm going to try to switch it on again. It should be a white light here now, and the screen should light up. So you see, especially for simple fixes, repair is the next best thing. It extends the lifespan of your devices and generates less waste. Although in most occasions, your laptop or mobile devices actually requires a replacement. Disposing all broken parts responsibly to trusted sources can still extend its life. These faulty parts will either be repurposed or extracted off their precious parts to make new products. At the end of the day, as long as we realize the importance of a circular economy, we will naturally move towards a sustainable living.
Thank you so much to Sustainable Living Lab. I'm fascinated that small things and small repairs can make such a big difference to all our devices. And as such, for companies and individuals out there today watching us live on Facebook Live, we want to invite you to take the journey with us with SG Tech on the sustainable journey. Scan the QR code above, or for those of you who prefer to type on the browser, sgtech.org.sg/eRevival Square, so that you can join the pledge and make a difference in our e-waste problem in Singapore. Now, before we go off, I would like to invite all my speakers and our guest of honor, Dr. Amy Khor, back on screen. You can see all of them, they can give us a little wave. Hi guys. And of course, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us today in this amazing eRevival Square launch. I think before we go, and we have some time left, we want to get everyone to share, one or two things that they are thinking about for this eRevival Square, or even their pledge itself, so that our audience members here today can be inspired. And of course, we will start with Mr. Wong Wai Ming, Chairman, SG Tech.
Sure. I really believe this is so important to save our planet for our future generations. And it has to start now, and it has to start with every one of us, right? Every little speckle makes up the desert, every little drop makes up the ocean. And as that saying goes, it's so important that we do our part. So do check our programs that we're going to launch after this, and join us in all our activities. Step forward, propagate the message to drive wider awareness amongst your friends, family, and everyone you come across. We need all your commitment, and do keep your pledges coming. Thank you, and have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you, Wai Ming. Vera, next to you. Have you been repairing anything recently?
Thanks very much, Ivan. Certainly, I just moved into my new place, so I've been building a lot of things and also trying to save and reuse some of the items as well. I would like to really invite everyone who's watching this, and also subsequently, to join in the various eRevival Square initiatives. I'm going to say it's not going to be very far away from you, right? Because we are all over the country. We're going to do it at our Tampines hub. We're going to do it at our PA sites in Ang Mo Kio, Jurong, Coral Reef, Pek Kio, Choa Chu Kang, and also the Good Life Foundation as well. So there will always be a location near you to actually engage in some of these activities, and really look forward to seeing all of you there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vera. And he's the director of the Sustainable Living Lab. Moving on, Gavin from Facebook.
Yes, I'll just say let's think about reviving or e-viving our devices before throwing them away.
Okay, reviving. It's like giving a CPR to a device, yeah. And of course, Boon Ping from HP.
Yep. Thanks, Ivan. So personally, I would like to end off with this quote I came across. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestor. We actually borrow it from our earth. And I think this resonates with me personally very well. because I'm a father of two young girls, and I also want to make sure they grow up with a sustainable future ahead. So I hope all of us is inspired to do our part for a sustainable future. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Boon Ping. Collective action, yeah. And last but not least, our guest of honor today. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Amy Khor. If you have something to let the audience member out there know about our initiatives.
Sure, thank you. Well, I think from this event, we are reminded again that every one of us can play a part. Every one of us can take action. And in fact, we should take action now because we can see the effects of climate change already happening. So we should not wait. And in fact, we can take very simple action. So eRevival Square, for instance, this event shows that one of the actions you can take really is before you discard your electrical or electronic devices and buy a new one, think about repairing it to revive it, give it a new lease of life if you can. So I think that is something that we all should do. And in fact, we have many, many opportunities to do this because we buy so many electrical and electronic products.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Amy Khor. So guys, don't just, and ladies, of course, out there, don't just throw and Alba is great. Don't just throw your stuff. Find ways to repair and upcycle it before you actually throw it into the bin itself. So our panel guest today, thank you so much for joining us in the SG Tech in partnership with Facebook, Sustainable Living Lab, and of course the National Environment Agency. And before we go off and we say bye to our audience, can I get everyone to smile for the camera? We'll be taking 2 group photographs. Our colleagues from SG Tech and Facebook will be coordinating it, but I'll do the countdown. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can actually hear the shutter sound. One more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much to Dr. Amy Khor, Mr. Wong Wai Ming, Mr. Vera, Mr. Gavin Chua, and Mr. Yo Boon Ping for joining us today. Let us say thanks to the audience as well. Thank you so much. Remember to pledge sgtech.org.sg/eRevival Square. Pledge right now. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and Majula Singapura.
Thank you.
Have a good Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yep. Everyone have a good Sunday and keep safe.
Stay safe.
Thank you.